Pillar Readers Theater presents Dasher, a one-act play by Charles P. Cabell Jr., directed by Pat Hahn and Gloria Slayton. The play takes place in Tony's Bar, a typical small old-time bar in an industrial section of Milwaukee. The bar is well used, but clean and well maintained also. There are 8 red leather covered bar stools at the bar and a few tables scattered around the floor. Numerous autographed pictures of small groups holding glasses and steins can be seen on the walls. The normal bar accoutrements are atop the bar. The time is 10:30 p.m. on Christmas Eve. The bar is empty except for Maisie, the bartender, who is drying and polishing the last of the beer steins taken from a hidden washtub. She finishes the glass and puts it on a rack with the others. Clearly weary, she sits down behind the bar and rests her elbows on it as she holds her head in her hands for a moment or two. Then she raises her head, looks at her watch, and puts her head in her hands again. Just then, the outside bar door opens and Hans and Billy enter in a swirl of snow, flapping their arms and stamping their feet. Hans is a semi-retired electrician. Originally from Austria, he still speaks with a hint of a German accent. Billy is Hans's young female co-worker and friend. Maisie stands up and starts wiping down the counter as Billy and Hans shed their coats, throw them on an empty table, and plonk themselves down on 2 adjacent bar stools.
Ooh-wee, Hans, did you ever get this much dang snow in Austria? Must be 6 inches out there already, heading for twice that. We may be in here a while.
Are you kidding, Liebchen? I'm from Salzburg, remember? Well, not so much snow in Salzburg itself, but in the nearby mountains? Oh boy, yeah.
You talk so much about Salzburg. I'd really like to go there someday. Mozart, Sound of Music. But you know what? I could really use a drink. Hey, barkeep.
Well, what can I get for you 2 folks on such a nasty night?
Well, this is Milwaukee, isn't it? I thought serving anything but beer was against the law.
Well, it's Christmas Eve. We're allowed to make an exception on Christmas Eve.
Oh, lucky us. But you know what? A beer actually sounds pretty good right now. Say, do you have any Austrian beers? As you heard, Hans here is from Salzburg.
Well, we have 2 of their export beers, Edelweiss and Steffi. But you'd have to go to Austria to get the real stuff, like Zipfer or Weselberger. Right, Hans?
Oh, sounds like you've been there.
Amazing. And you're right, I have. My husband, God rest his soul, and I used to love to travel.
Oh, sorry for your loss, Maisie. I'm Billy, by the way. Was he the Tony of Tony's Bar?
Yes, he was. Where does the time go? I've kept the place open on my own for 5 years now. Our son helped out for a bit while he was still in college, but he moved to Madison when he got married. Now I'm getting the itch to get back on the road again, even without Tony. Well, that explains why I'm here on Christmas Eve alone. What about you 2 losers?
Danged good question, actually. We've been wondering the same thing ourselves. We're from Pittsburgh, out here to do an electrical contracting job for a big client. Supposed to have gone home this morning.
Yeah, our flight home was canceled. Our boss owes us big time for this one. Hans, of course, since he has a family, but me too. I'm supposed to be marrying my boyfriend next weekend. This sucks. We suspect that this was supposed to be our boss's trip, but he foisted it on us just because something like this might happen.
Not the first time, probably not the last.
Right.
Well, now that we have shared the prescribed amount of commiseration for our collective misfortunes, how about those beers? Edelweiss okay? What do you think, Hans?
Oh, you're right, Maisie. Zipfer would have been better, but Edelweiss will be fine. How about you, Billy? First one's on me.
Thanks, Hans. Edelweiss sounds great.
I think I'll join you. Here we go. A stein for each of us. Hans, it's Christmas Eve. How about teaching us an Austrian Christmas toast?
Yeah, Hans. Good idea, Maisie. Let's have it, Hans.
Oh, I don't know one specifically for Christmas, but the easiest one is Prost, which just means cheers. If you think we should be a bit more festive, we can say Gesundheit, Glück und Erfolg.
Wait a minute. I thought Gesundheit was just for sneezes.
Nah, it just means health.
Well, what's the rest of the toast again?
Glück und Erfolg is happiness and success. Ready, everyone? In Austria, when you click steins, you click the bottoms, not the tops. Okay? Okay. Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Glück
Erfolg.
Erfolg. Hey, who opened the damn door? Close it, will you? It's freezing in here. Geez.
My God, Billy, look over by the door. I think it's a reindeer.
Sure, Hans. Hey, what's in that Edelweiss anyway?
No, I mean it, Billy. Look.
Oh my gosh, Hans, I think you're right. A reindeer. Must be a girl. No antlers. I wonder how old it is. It looks ancient. Hey, it's coming over to the bar and it's limping.
Now it's got its front hoofs on the bar. You know what? I don't think it's a female after all. Look, it's got a golden bell around its neck. Wonder what that's for.
Oh, hello, Dasher. What'll it be? The usual?
Hello, Maisie. Not tonight. I'm too keyed up. I'll have what they're having.
Well, Hans and young Billy here are having Edelweiss. Okay with you?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you that Dasher? Oh, you can't be, can you?
If you mean the Dasher that was mentioned in A Visit from St. Nicholas, written by Clement Moore in 1823, I'm afraid so. As you can see, I'm getting along in years.
But I always thought
You
that
always thought the reindeer were immortal, right?
Well, I know I did, but
Let's just say we live a long, long time. But give a poor reindeer a break, will you? You have any idea how much work it is to haul that sleigh full of toys all over the world in a single night? When that poem was written, there were only about 1 billion people in the world. Now it's 7 times that. I took early retirement because I was exhausted. My son has taken my place.
wow. So why did you
Retire
retire?
here in Milwaukee? Why did you tell him, Maisie?
Well, it was because of my husband, Tony. When he was a little kid, Tony always left some food and water with a nice note for Santa's reindeer. When Tony opened this place, he always left a bucket of beer for them. He was the nicest, most thoughtful.
Yes, he was. Then that's why I'm here. Reindeer never forget. I got to meet Tony the year before he died, and sorry,
well, what about
Santa? Oh, Santa's immortal, all right. And he's quite a guy. Been around since about 280 AD and has lots of changes in his image to keep up with the times. Now he wears a red suit with white fur trim, but who knows what it'll look like in another 100 years. Maybe a spacesuit or something. Maybe then his sleigh will be on an anti-gravity platform with no reindeer at all.
Maybe the way things are going, there won't even be a Christmas 100 years from now.
I hate to say it, but Billy may be right. In Salzburg, where we practically invented Christmas, Christmas has been toned way down already.
And there are so many competing celebrations now. Well, the main one for my friend Letitia is Kwanzaa. And most of them have nothing to do with traditional Christmas story. They just take place around that time.
Some people say that shopping mall Santas, elves, and even, sorry, Dasher, reindeer have nothing to do with the real story of Christmas either.
But others, like me, feel that Santa's message is at least on the way to appreciating what the real Christmas is all about. Santa's message is all about peace, love, being good, being kind, and being generous. Well, how far is that from the quote unquote real story of Christmas?
Oh, I agree, Maisie. Some of the other celebrations I'm not so sure about. What about Kwanzaa, Billy?
No, you're right, Hans. It is more of a Black culture thing. It takes place over 7 days. Each day focuses on one of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa.
Okay, I'll bite. What are the 7 principles?
Let's see. If I can remember what Letitia told me. Oh yeah, unity, self-determination. Wait, I'll Google it. Okay, Google, what are the 7 principles of Kwanzaa? Oh, here they are. Unity, self-determination, collective work, responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith.
Well, good stuff, but maybe a little further from Christmas than Santa's treatment of it.
And then there are the other celebrations like National Day of Remembrance and Action on Violence Against Women. There's a mouthful. That one is held annually in Canada. Another one is Human Rights Day. Oh yeah, there's a winter solstice celebration where they tell stories and eat watermelons and seeds and stuff.
Yeah, and even Jerry Seinfeld got into the act about 20 years ago with the Vesuvius, Vestus.
Festivus, sort of a play on a festival for the rest of us. Seinfeld didn't invent the celebration, but featuring it on his TV show 20 years ago sure gave it a big boost. I hear it's doing well in some places now.
One that's taking off in Austria now is Christmas, spelled with a K for Kris Kringle, I think. A Christmas with a K has everything traditional Christmas has. Elves, decorated trees, gift giving, even reindeer, Dasher, but no baby Jesus. It's so that non-Christians can wish each other Merry Christmas without compromising their non-beliefs.
And I get other folks in the bar that talk about other celebrations in Japan, India, and Tibet. Sounds like more every day. But tell us, Dasher, isn't all this talk about other celebrations depressing you?
Not at all, Maisie. All of these celebrations seem to have one thing in common. They are all pauses for peace, love, reflection, and giving in an increasingly turbulent world. Why should that depress me?
Oh, Dasher, tell them about the
What happened
time.
in 1939? Of course. In 1939, there was
You know I love you, but you have a really annoying habit.
finishing folks' questions or statements for them. Yes, I'm sorry. I just Oh, dang. Did it again, didn't I? Okay, I'll try to be good. But you were going to ask me to tell them about Rudolph, right?
No, I wasn't. I was going to get you to tell us about the new operations at the North Pole.
Yeah, I was wondering about that myself.
Me too. How can a
Group
small,
of elves. Oop, sorry, Billy. I'll let you finish.
oh, it's okay. You're on the right track. Go ahead.
How can a small group of elves, of course, we don't call them that anymore, and the term vertically challenged is too patronizing as well. We just call them the workers and address them by their names: Frank, Nimrod, Thor. Pretty awkward, really. So, how does a small group of workers turn out toys for billions of people? The answer is they can't. It was one thing when all they had to make were little wooden dolls and toy trains and stuff like that. Now kids demand high-tech things like iPhones and video games and remote control drones that can give the neighbor's dog a heck of a scare.
And if they're like my kids, they're ready to burn the house down if they don't get them.
Yep, whether or not they've been naughty or nice.
Oh my. Whoa, kids today. Anyway, the elves, workers today manage a huge manufacturing and logistical empire, the largest in the world. You might know it as Amazon, and they have become extremely wealthy. The North Pole has been transformed into an underground near tropical paradise. You don't see a bunch of rich elves roaming the world because they have everything they need right there. Uh-oh, almost time to go. I wonder what's
Wait, you started to tell us about 1939. What happened in 1939?
Rudolph, right, Dasher?
Sorry, Maisie. I know you've heard this story a bunch of times already. Hans and Billy, you've undoubtedly heard the line, then how the reindeer loved him as they shouted out with glee, etc. Hogwash! They hated Rudolph before and after his famous foggy Christmas Eve stunt. More afterwards, actually. He was now the big star and they weren't.
But the song.
That was Santa's doing. He knew a good thing when he saw it. He told the stupid story to the songwriter, and the reindeer all went along with it because Santa threatened to roast them for dinner if they didn't. Of course, he wouldn't have done that, but it got his point across.
But why
Did
did
they
they?
hate Rudolph? It all started with Vixen, the only female reindeer of the group then.
But the pictures all show all the reindeer with antlers. I thought they were all male. In fact, I thought you were a female when you came in.
Well, both male and female reindeer have antlers. But here's the funny thing. Males lose their antlers before December. Females keep theirs until after their offspring is born in the spring. So, when you see reindeer with antlers pulling the sleigh on Christmas Eve, they're actually all females. Either that or males with their antlers tied on so as not to spoil the illusion. I can tell you, those tied on antlers are really a pain.
So Vixen was a female. I'll be darned.
You bet she was, and quite a fetching creature she was too. So fetching, in fact, that all of the other reindeer were totally in love with her.
Including you, right, Dasher?
Oh my, yes, including me.
But what does she have to do with?
I'm getting to that. The one who finally won her heart was Blitzen, one of the two reindeer with German roots. And that caused some resentment right there.
Because it was the mid-1930s and Hitler was the big noise in Europe.
Right. And both Donner and Blitzen had already started swaggering around, acting like they were better than everyone else.
But I don't see.
Oh, he's getting there, Billy.
Right. Hold on, Billy. I'm getting there. Anyway, things were still more or less okay until Christmas Eve of 1935. There was Vixen with her natural antlers and everybody else with theirs tied on. But Santa had trouble keeping the sleigh on course. After a bit of checking, turns out that Vixen was, as the expression goes, heavy with child, and she kept pulling the sleigh to the left.
Aha, Rudolph.
You got it, Rudolph. So it wasn't just Rudolph's red shiny nose. That wasn't all that weird anyway. In fact, he looked kind of cute. What got everybody was that Santa doted on him to the exclusion of everyone else. And boy, did Rudolph take advantage of it. Add to that the lingering jealousy over Vixen and the worsening German problem, and things were pretty tense.
And then came the Foggy Night episode in 1939.
And did Rudolph ever lord it over the rest of us after that? He was insufferable, especially when the media made such a fuss over him.
So whatever happened to him?
He got old and had to be replaced like everyone else. Today's Rudolphs have a fake nose with a red lens, a bulb, and a battery just to keep the story going. But today's sleighs are equipped with radar and GPS and the latest in computers and avionics. No way Santa could ever get lost.
But what?
What happened was that the world kept turning. Eventually, the war was over and the Germans became our friends again. Then Blitzen died and the old jealousies faded away.
Plus, Rudolph gave a boost to the whole Santa story at a time when it was desperately needed.
You're right, Hans. Nobody wanted to admit that at the time, but eventually they did. They never actually shouted out with glee, as the song says. But although he was never actually loved, he was certainly accepted as one of the gang.
And
And when he retired, he was incredibly rich. All those residuals from the song, the books, the movie. After that, he made himself pretty scarce.
But wait, you said Blitzen died. How did Blitzen
It
die?
was right after the war. We had an early Arctic thaw, and Blitzen ate some monkshood by mistake.
Monkshood?
I know that plant, Hans. It's deadly poisonous. Some people call it wolfsbane, but it's hard to imagine anyone making that kind of mistake. It's bright purple and it grows all over the place in Arctic meadows. Dasher, how? Oh my gosh, Hans. Look at what just came in.
Amazing, Billy. It's another one. Look at those antlers. He's magnificent. Oh, wait. It's not a he, it's a she. Look at Dasher light up.
Hello, my darling. Hope we haven't missed him.
Hello yourself, beautiful lady. We're okay. My little bell hasn't begun to tickle yet.
And who do we have here? Wait, you must be Maisie, of course. Dasher has told me so much about you and about Tony and the wonderful times you have had together. It is a genuine pleasure to meet you at last. You're just as lovely as he's always described you.
Oh, well, thank you. That is very sweet. Yes, I am Maisie. But who are you? I'm guessing you must be Vixen.
I'm so sorry. I sort of ambushed poor Dasher and didn't give him a chance to introduce me. Yes, I am Vixen. And who is this handsome fellow? And who is the charming young lady next to him?
These are my new friends, Hans and Billy from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh? Oh, my goodness. And what are you two nice people doing so far from home on Christmas Eve away from your families?
Well, our plane was canceled.
We got stuck in the weather.
Oh, oh dear, what a shame. Dasher, darling, maybe we could persuade Santa to drop them off. No, I'm sure that wouldn't work. Besides, I'm afraid they'd find the trip much too uncomfortable in that open sleigh.
Well, it's lovely to meet you, Vixen. Dasher was just telling us about you and Blitzen and Rudolph.
Yes, poor Blitzen. If it hadn't been for dear Dasher here, my life would have turned out much differently. He was so sweet and understanding, even when I became pregnant with Rudolph. And he remained my friend despite everything that happened afterward. Then after Blitzen died, our friendship became something more. What was that, Maisie?
And Dasher tells me that you have another child.
Oh, yes. Well, he's a beautiful youngster. Not so young now, I suppose. Tonight is his first night in the harness of Santa's sleigh. We're all so proud of him.
Dasher told us he's waiting for his golden bell to tinkle, announcing that his son is overhead. That must be why you're here too.
Dasher, you bad boy. Didn't you tell them anything? Yes, that's why we're both here. We don't get to see him very much anymore, so we take all the opportunities we can.
Vixen, we were just about to get Dasher to tell us about Rudolph. Where is he and what is he doing?
Actually, we lost our dear Rudolph for a while. He had all that money and all that fame, and he fell in with a bad Hollywood crowd. After Blitzen died, nobody could do a thing with him.
But he's back now. Tell them, sweetheart.
And a lot of that is because of you, my dear. Dasher was wonderful.
So where is Rudolph?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I seem to have picked up Dasher's bad habit of finishing others' thoughts for them.
Oh, no, you're fine. What about Rudolph now?
Rudolph's doing fine. He still makes a lot of money from residuals, and he is very generous with it. Dasher and I are very comfortable. Santa has a new sleigh, and he provided a shiny harness for his stepbrother's first flight tonight.
Rudolph is still a bit of a playboy, or should I say play dear. Anyway, he pretty much keeps on the move. We don't know where he is most of the time. Santa is the only one who knows where he is at any one time. Ask Santa about it, though, and all you get back from him is a bigger twinkle in his eye and a couple more puffs of a stubby little pipe.
Oh, it's fun to talk about the old days, old friend. And here we are now at another Christmas Eve.
Here we are. And here's to you and Tony.
You know what, Macy? I could use another beer. How about you, Billy?
Sure, Hans. I'm not driving anywhere.
What about you, Vixen? Dasher? I'm buying.
No, thank you, Hans. I better not. I haven't told Dasher yet, but I'm going to lose my antlers in the spring.
But, oh, I get it.
Oh, that's wonderful, honey. Oops, there goes my little bell. Time to go. Our dear son, my friends. He will be overhead in a few moments, and we must fly up to meet him. Goodbye, Maisie. See you soon, I hope. Hans and Billy, it's been a real pleasure. Come, my dear Vixie Cat, and be extra careful now, okay? Say, would one of you kind folks open the door for us? Hooves and doorknobs, you know.
Oh, I'll get that for you.
Goodbye, Dasher, Vixen.
Great meeting you.
Good luck.
Hope to see you again.
Thank you, dear
Thank you,
friends.
dear friends.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Wow. Vixen is a real sweetheart. I can see why the reindeer were all in love with her. I'm half in love with her myself.
Yeah, and you know, Hans, Maisie, I never believed it before now.
Neither did I, Billy.
Reindeer really do know how to fly.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this show as much as we have had performing it. The cast for our show is as follows. Dasher was played by Robert Tiffany. The role of Hans was played by Steve Murtaugh. Joan Valentine played the part of Vixen. Maisie was played by Gloria Slayton. Pat Hahn played the part of Billy. And yours truly, Bev Turner, as the narrator. Happy holidays, and remember, keep
Keep
Laughing.